Well, it looks like I'm making Pokemon YouTube videos again. Pokemon are my tools, and they do what I tell them to. So, let's look at Pokemon White 2 Challenge Mode with Steel types today. If we use damage calcs, EV spreads, and absolutely everything that was available at any point in the game to our full advantage, would it be possible to maximize our chances or even guarantee a win of the game's hardest fights? And most importantly, answer the question of how manageable it would be for someone to attempt a real hardcore Nuzlocke of the game with these rules. Don't worry, Daddy's gonna give you the answers. Magnemite, Klink, Aaron, Pawniard, and Bronzo are going to be the only Pokemon available in this game, and this is a great squad of boys we got here. Look at them going, they're all excited and ready to go. Magnemite is our first chronological encounter, but it won't come before the first gym, so it'll be used as my starter. Many of the strategies I've designed for the game require Magnemite with exceptional special attack and a plus special attack nature. And since Magnemite can be easily reset for being right at the beginning of the game, you can put some time into getting a good Magnemite. You're also going to have to use Magnemite for the first 4 gyms, and you won't get another encounter until after. Magnemite is a wall for the most part and pretty much resists all the attacks these gyms have, but let's take a closer look at them. For Sharon, you click the Thunder Shock button over and over again, and that's all. Then, for Roxy, you'll have EXP left over for HP investment, so do that to maximize your chances. You should try to waste Roxy's only super potion on Coughing instead of Grimer. This is because Grimer has Mud Slap, which is quad affected and lowers your accuracy. You want to minimize the amount of turns you have to spend with it. Berg's Pokemon all do not very effective damage, so you can just spam Mirror Shot and Thunder Shock. Give Magnemite a nice Eviolite and some special attack investment now. Eliza will be kind of a wall because of Zebstrika. Once it's in, its Flame Charge hits pretty hard, and I gave Magnemite rest to heal up whenever I can. You're gonna need some accuracy drops from Mirror Shot, or you're just gonna have to hope that Zebstrika doesn't go for Flame Charge too often. This will be the last battle, though, in this game that'll be in the hands of fate. Look guys, here's the thing. You can get into Chargestone Cave and get either a Klink or a Ferroseed at this point. You can't get both of them, you have to choose. Ferroseed with max defense and HP investment plus Eviolite, Curse, Ingrain, Gyro Ball, and Iron Defense could easily plow through Clay's team of physical Pokemon. Ferroseed in general is a monster and will solo plenty of battles for you in this run. Klink is inferior, but it would be really fun to use, so I'm going to go with Klink instead. However, if you go with Klink, then all you have is Klink and Magnemite for this fight and you're completely screwed. I don't even see a way to win. So I'll just say Clay is an easy W if you choose Ferroseed. And trust me, going forward, using Klink is going to be a lot more fun than just watching Ferroseed sweep through teams. If you really want to see Ferroseed, go check out the Grass Lock in White. I use Ferroseed a lot in that one. Now we're really getting into it, and Skyla here can get swept by Magnemite, go full speed EVs now, and give it a Choice Scarf. Swoobat at the beginning can't kill you with a crit regardless of your sturdy. You'll get Discharge at level 43 to finish the sweep. One interesting thing to note is that if your Pokemon levels up and you delete the move that your Choice locked into, you get to choose a new move to Choice lock yourself into again. Could be useful for a strategy down the line. If Swoobat does crit Psychic though, you'll have to handle Skarmory with another Pokemon to be safe. Aaron here has insane defense and resists all of Skarmory's physical moves, so this battle's easy. Alright, Pawniard's available now. Drayden is a guaranteed W. This is how. First, start with Magnemite. Magnemite will hit Druddigon with a Specs Flash Cannon and leave it low. Druddigon actually sees Magnemite sturdy and doesn't see a kill with Revenge. Plus, With Revenge being negative priority, that means Druddigon never chooses to go for it. Druddigon will also never go for Dragon Tail either, since it's negative priority, and I haven't set up stat boosts of any kind, which kind of triggers the AI to use it. This means that only Crunch and Rock Slide are on the table here, neither of which will kill Magnemite. I'll finish it with a Flash Cannon next turn, and when Flygon comes in, regardless of whether the previous Druddigon crit its attack, Flygon will only see a kill with Earth Power on Magnemite. I can switch into Aaron, who's holding an air balloon, making it immune to ground type moves. Now that Flygon has seen Earth Power is immune versus Aaron, it won't choose it anymore. It'll only go for Crunch or Rock Slide, and I'll just protect with Aaron to waste another PP. Next turn, I'll go into a Violite Max Defense, Max HP Pawniard, who eats up both Crunch and Rock Slide from Flygon very easily. Flygon sees a new Pokemon in, and now a kill with Earth Power again. It's guaranteed to go for it. I'll protect with Pawniard to waste another one. Now, it's going for Earth Power again. I'll go back into Aaron and be immune to Earth Power with the air balloon again. Now, this cycle will repeat itself over and over again until Flygon has no more Earth Power left. Now, Pawniard is going to be safe to stay in. The goal is to make Flygon struggle. Soon, it'll start using Dragon Tail too. Just keep switching back into Aaron and Pawniard to tank all the damage. Now, on the turn, Flygon uses its first struggle, go into Clink. You gotta count the PP. It actually Dragon Tailed me into Clink. Very convenient, but just know, if it doesn't, you'll always have enough turns. Along with max attack EV investment, Clink needs 4 attack boosts and max speed from Shift Gear, and a held metal coat to sweep. I'll do just that. Drayden will potion after 3 struggle turns, allowing a few more turns to finish setting up. Clink also has defensive investment to avoid dying to struggle crits. I'll be sweeping with Gear Grind, a move with 85% accuracy. We can fix that. Clink has access to Gravity through Tutors, which will increase accuracy of all moves on the field by 1.67 times. Now, Clink has 100% accuracy with Gear Grind and can complete the sweep against Altaria and Haxorus. We can guarantee a win from the Marlin fight too. First, I'll start with Choice Spec Magnemite, and I'll use Volt Switch, which will always kill Wailord, and I'll go into my pre-damaged Clink. Clink is pre-damaged, so that Caracosta will always see a kill on it and go for Scald. I'm gonna Volt Switch again to break the Sturdy, and I'll go into Aaron. Aaron will live the Scald with Sturdy, and I'll eject button back into Magnemite, who can now clean up the rest of the fight with Specs Discharge. Alright, we'll fight Colress now. Start with Magnemite, and I'm gonna get paralyzed by Magneton while I shrug it off with a Cherry Berry and I break it Sturdy with a Flash Cannon. Now, I'm just gonna wait until Magneton uses Volt Switch. It just uses its moves randomly. I'll just wait until it uses Volt Switch. I can stay healthy with rest while I wait for that. Then, when it Volt Switches, it's always going to go into Magnezone. Then, I'll use Clink, who can always live a crit, and eject button pivot me into Aaron. I can outspeed and break Magnezone Sturdy with Iron Head, and I'll live any hit from Magnezone with Sturdy, and my eject button will activate. The eject button will send me into Pawniard. Now, I can finish the Magnezone with Dig, and Klinklang will come in, and it's got an air balloon, and here's what's going down here, guys. Klinklang pretty much only uses 2 moves versus Pawniard, Thunderbolt and Shift Gear. Gear Grind is pretty viable, but through testing, it just doesn't go for it, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because of its accuracy, whatever. I can build my Pawniard 2 different ways. First, we can do a max speed Pawniard to outspeed the Klinklang, or a mix of both special defense and speed. Pawniard will be sweeping the rest of the battle, so it absolutely needs, by default, max attack to ensure the kills. Fast Pawniard only has to get hit by Klinklang one time, but dies to a critical Thunderbolt. And Mix Pawniard can live a non-crit Thunderbolt and a critical Thunderbolt, but can outspeed the Klinklang. I can't afford any more special defense on the Mix Pawniard because it needs to outspeed Magneton in the back. I think I like Mix Pawniard the best. I'm going to use the first turn to Swords Dance up versus Klinklang. Then, next turn, I can break it and finish it off. Magneton dies to dig, Metang dies to dig, and the Behem dies to a Night Slash. Alright, we'll kill Kyurem with Specs Flash Cannon from Magnemite. Then, when the Getsis battle starts, switch directly to Pawniard, who quad resists Cofagrigus' only move that affects it. Pawniard is also holding the Eviolite to tank it even harder. I'll set up to max attack with Swords Dance, and I can actually sweep through all of Getsis' Pokemon until Hydreigon comes out. I'll use Klink as a safe eject button pivot into my Aaron. My Aaron resists all of Hydreigon's attacks and is defensive, so I can just sit here and use Iron Head until Hydreigon dies. Our final encounter, Bronzor, is available now, and we're gonna fight Caitlyn first for a specific reason. We need Imprison on Bronzor, which needs to be tutored on, and we're gonna delete it later. So, Caitlyn comes first. I'm just gonna spam Imprison with Bronzor at the beginning, and Imprison's a move that's gonna block off your opponent's moves if you share the same ones. Specifically, I don't want it using Hypnosis. I also don't care if Musharna puts Bronzor to sleep first turn, because its charge beams are really weak, and as soon as I wake up, I'm going to Imprison right away and cut off Hypnosis from Musharna forever. Now at this point, Musharna will just use all 10 of its charge beams, and I'll just protect with Bronzor and tank them. If things ever went horribly wrong, with Musharna getting a bunch of special attack boosts, I have Sturdy Magnemite and Sturdy Aaron to tank more charge beams. Now, once it's all out of charge beams, I'm going to go into Pawniard. Since Imprison Bronzor is off the field, Musharna can use Hypnosis again. Well, no, not actually, because I'm just going to taunt it with Pawniard. Now Musharna is helpless, and will spam Dream Eater, which won't even affect Pawniard. I'll set up to max attack, and I'll keep Musharna taunted while I do this. Once I'm max attack, I'll kill Musharna with Night Slash. Then, I'll kill Reuniclus with Night Slash, Metagross with Dig, Gothitelle with Night Slash, and this Sigilyph outspeeds me. It only uses Air Slash though, which you can live a crit from, and if you have an Inner Focus Pawniard, you're 100% safe here because you can't get flinched. But, if you went with Defiant like me, there's an easy backup plan. A Special Defense Klink with Eject Button and Choice Scarf Magnemite can finish Sigilyph guaranteed. Defensive Bronzor completely walls Grimsley's Liepard. This means I can waste all of Liepard's attacking move PP until it only has Fake Out and Attract left, neither of which will affect Klink. This will allow me to set up all the way with Shift Gear, set up a Gravity, then I can kill all of Grimsley's Pokemon up to Bisharp. Since Gear Grind is not very effective and my Gravity went out, I'm going to hit Bisharp with a Wild Charge just to get it low. Klink always lives a crit from Bisharp plus Wild Charge recoil. Grimsley will potion, but I can go into Aaron after for the eject button pivot into Magnemite, who lives any hit with Sturdy and can finish with a Specs Discharge. For Marshall, I'll start with defensive Bronzor again, who can't be touched by Throw. I'm going to stay healthy with Rest and stall Throw out of all of its moves except for Bulldoze. I learned something new while testing this battle. Usually once a Pokemon sees that you're immune to a move because of an ability, it will no longer use it. But when I set up a Reflect, for some reason it's fair game again, and it's interesting because I've never seen this before. So just avoid using Reflect in this battle to stall out Throw. We're going to use this later though for something else. Once it only has Bulldoze left, I'm going to go into Air Balloon Clink, who can set up all the way with Shift Gear. You definitely need max defense here because you're going to need to set up a gravity, which will force you to tank one Bulldoze from throw, since now you're on the floor. Then, once that's done, you can sweep the rest of the team. And gravity's going to run out when the Lucario comes out, but you got Wild Charge for that. When Sock's out, we can use Aaron as an eject button pivot and finish it off with Sturdy Magnemite to ensure the kill. Last will be Chantal. I'm gonna PP stall Cofagrigus with Bronzor, who's max special defense and max HP with the Eviolite again. Cofagrigus will start by prioritizing Shadow Ball, which I easily tank, especially with light screen support. But what if Cofagrigus starts getting special defense drops with Shadow Ball? Well, I have the move Psych Up on my Bronzor, and if you didn't know, Psych Up will actually take +0 special defense from Cofagrigus and reset my negative stat changes. Once Cofagrigus is out of Shadow Balls, it's especially important to keep Light Screen up. This is because if it's not, Cofagrigus will use Psychic and I want it to be left with it in the end. When it only has Psychic and Will-O-Wisp, I'd go to Pawniard. I'll use Taunt with Pawniard now to make sure Cofagrigus won't use Will-O-Wisp. Now, I can set up to +6 with Swords Dance. But wait a sec, Pawniard quad resists Cofagrigus' best move versus it. Couldn't I have just sent out Pawniard from the beginning and not wasted time with Bronzor? No, and I'll show you why we had to do that very soon. For now, I can finish Cofagrigus with Night Slash, and Golurk that comes out after dies to Night Slash. Alright, Chandelure is in and it'll outspeed Pawniard because of its held Choice Scarf. And also, this is why Pawniard needs to pull up to this interaction with as much health as possible. I actually miscounted and let Cofagrigus hit me with a struggle here, but it actually doesn't matter in this case. The point is, I want Chandelure to only see a kill with Fire Blast. If I keep my health up, that's what will happen. I don't want it to use any of its other moves versus Pawniard. And this is because I can first protect with Pawniard. That'll waste a Fire Blast. Then switch to Aaron to tank another Fire Blast with Sturdy. And don't worry about Burn, he's got a Rossberry. Then I'll protect to waste another Fire Blast. I'll do the exact same thing with Magnemite. After that, Chandelure will have no more Fire Blast left. Since it's locked in with Choice Scarf, it'll struggle itself to death now. Here's where I go to Clink. Clink can tank struggles with max defense and stay healthy with leftovers. I'll get to max speed and max attack with Shift Gear. I'll have exactly enough turns to use 6 Shift Gears, and the turn that Chandelure finally struggles to death, I'll use Gravity to ensure Gear Grind hits. Now it's over for Chantal. Gear Grind sweeps the rest of the team. Champion time, guys. For the first part of the battle, I'm gonna try to stall Hydreigon out of all 5 of its Fire Blasts and Focus Blasts. Hydreigon only sees a kill on Magnemite with those 2 moves right now, so it's guaranteed to go for either one. I'll protect to waste 1. Next turn, I'll rest after Hydreigon gets me down to Sturdy. That's another. I'll wake up with a Chesto Berry and protect again. Then I can rest next turn again to get my Sturdy back. Now I'll let Hydreigon finish off Magnemite and I'll go into Aaron, who has the exact same use as Magnemite. Aaron will stall more PP for me. Then, once he's gone, I'll go into Focus Sash Pawniard, who works in a similar way, and that will finish off the rest of Hydreigon's dangerous PP. Hydreigon will only have Dragon Pulse and Surf left, which barely do anything to special defensive Bronzor. I can stall it out of the rest of its moves until it struggles. When it does, I go to Clink. Clink will only have time for 5 total Shift Gears. After the second Shift Gear, I'll use Gravity. This is so that Gravity ends on the exact turn I want it to later on. Once I'm at +5 attack, I'll finish off Hydreigon and kill the Druddigon too. My Gear Grind isn't guaranteed to kill this Aggron, so I'm switching to Bronzor. This is why Gravity needs to run out early. Aggron uses Earthquake versus Clink, which would hit Bronzor under Gravity because Levitate would be nullified. Now, Bronzor can easily tank everything that Aggron has, and I'm gonna stall it out. And here's where the Reflect strategy comes in that I mentioned earlier during the Marshall fight. I want to force Aggron to use Earthquakes even though Bronzor is immune. So, for some reason, setting up a Reflect makes Aggron use Earthquakes all the time now. When Aggron only has Automatize left, that's it. I can go back into Clink, set up all the way with a Shift Gear, again, and sweep the rest of the team. That's how we do it, guys. Alright, let's evaluate. Let's say you have all the items and TMs and all that stuff all the time without having to work for them. This is definitely one of the more possible challenges I've looked at. Some iffy battles early game, but after that, you can guarantee or almost guarantee every big battle after. I can imagine things being even easier with Ferroseed too, but that was a fun one. Any game and type combo you want to see? Let me know. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, give that comment a like, and don't forget to ding the bell. I'll see you next time.